What's going on, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with another haul video. Now, before we get all excited because of all the goodies I was able to latch hold of and take home to be my own today, legally that is, go ahead and smash, lightly tap, touch the like button so that you won't forget, get all giddy and all and leave and not have done that to help me with the YouTube algorithm, that is, okay? And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. What's going on, Hidden Gem Comics? Thanks for stopping by. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so that you can make the conscious decision as to whether or not to watch this live or on the rewind. But in either case, YouTube is supposed to notify you. So whether you watch this live or on the rewind, I do appreciate you. We finally hit the 500 subscribers, folks. And so Saturday, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that reminder for that. Joe M., what's going on? Be sure to hit that reminders because you have to be in the stream in order to participate in the giveaways that I'm going to be doing Saturday, including the Uncanny X-Men number 11, the first appearance of the Stranger. It is a low grade, but if you're an X-Men collector in particular, low grade is certainly better than no grade, especially when it comes to very, very early Uncanny X-Men. So you will have to be present to win that. I will also be announcing what you will need to do in order to participate in our 600 subscriber giveaway. And see, it doesn't stop there. We just keep going and going and going. We give away stuff, we give away stuff, we give away stuff. So as luck would have it, or strategic planning, I was able to schedule a work trip and schedule comic book shopping along the way. Hey, you can't beat it, right? So first shop I hit up today was my LCS. Today is New Comic Book Day, and typically I try to pick up the DC, which are released the day before on the same day as the Marvel and everything else. That way I'm only making one trip. And so I stopped there first, hit several Walmarts along the way. I think in all I hit 4 Walmarts looking for the Walmart 25 or the Walmart 3 or 4 packs, Marvel and DC. And then also Pop. So what's going on, Whack Comics? I tell you what, talking about Whack Comics, if you haven't subscribed to their channel, go subscribe to their channel. They were doing an interview the other day with the artist of Department of Truth, which is on my pull list, at least for now, and gave away a comic, and I happen to win it. Yay! So be sure to check out their stuff. But anyhow, so I hit about 4 Walmarts and hit up 1 Ollie's and then another comic book store along the way. Now, this is only going to be episode 1. There's also going to be another episode with what I pick up tomorrow. So there's another comic book store here in Tupelo, and I might go on up to Baldwin and be able to check out that shop. That, if you recall, I went to a Clayton Crane signing earlier, or it was last month. Went to a Clayton Crane signing there. It's only 20 miles up the road. I think, meanwhile, I think I've got a time tomorrow to be able to check that out. So plan on going there. So I'm going to get all the goodies together tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll show you those. And then I'm going to follow back up because I'm going to be in North Alabama. I'm going to meet up with Big Will and Batman Popster, and going to be doing some long box diving and hope to pick up some more goodies. And then, of course, Saturday, I'll be on the Saturday morning cartoon crew doing the auction stuff that I typically do as well. What's going on, Samuel David? And I assume that you're talking about Whack Comics, so good for you there. So got a bunch of goodies, folks. Now, at the LCS, unfortunately, and I don't know if it's just become too easy. I don't know if it's just become too easy to blame everything on Diamond, or if some of it's true. It's probably a little bit of both. But my LCS constantly blames stuff on Diamond, and I've seen damaged stuff, and that's going to be on Diamond. But when stuff gets missed off my list that I say, hey, this is what I want for next week, and he says, hey, no problem. Is it? I don't know. Maybe it's a mixture of both. So I've been missing some of my books. It's getting kind of aggravating. The other aggravating thing is because it's a smaller shop, Diamond kind of prioritizes their stuff. And so, hey, who knew that you want comic boards and bags with comic books, right? And so they're out of stock. And so instead of ordering from somewhere else, they order them from Diamond. I have already taken the liberty to order them somewhere else. Now, CLCSs, that's where you're missing out. You're pushing consumers like me that would just as soon buy it from you, but when you continuously make it unavailable, I'm forced to go to the online option, especially for stuff like boards and bags. It's not like you touch and check the value of the boards and bags as much as you do a comic book. And you don't take a risk of it being damaged in shipping. So I did go to Max Pro Supplies and use the code Bueller and save 10%. And I tell you what, I ordered that stuff after hours Friday or either Saturday, and it was already shipped. It shipped out Monday. I'm supposed to be getting it Friday. And they're on the other side of the United States. So shout out to them for very good customer service and getting things done. But I digress. All right, so today I picked up Gideon Falls. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, unless you're Marvel and you just restart them. But yeah, so all good things come to an end. This has been a great read. I'm not a big horror guy, as I say every month when I pick up Gideon Falls, but this, and I don't know that it might not be a better read for a graphic novel where you can read them all together. Because there was a lag, not just from the corona, but from just normal timing issues with this book. But the next issue is the last issue, and they don't come out till December. So, but it is a good read. So if you haven't, don't worry about what's going on. How are you doing, man? Have no fear. Batman Popster is here, sir. I've got your books on my car seat. Yeah, Jeff Lemire is one of the best in the business. Everybody talks Donny Cates, James Tynion, which certainly they're worth their due. However, Jeff Lemire, and there are others that are certainly up there, at least on my list. Also, one, I was late to the game, but boy, am I glad I got in. That's Something Killing the Children. And this Jenny Frison variant, wow. It's hot. What's going on, Adrian? Man, how are you doing? Man, I got some goodies. Hang around to see those. But yeah, so this is great. So I was on a conference call. The wonders of technology, right? So I was on a conference call in the comic book parking lot, and I was sitting there reading comic books, paying attention, right? So I was able to go ahead and read Gideon Falls and Something is Killing the Children. Just a word, not that I really take my own advice, but just a word, a thought. When you have a large pull list like mine, the way that I start trying to cull out that stuff that I might just be getting out of habit is to, what am I so excited about? I can't wait to read it. If there's something that I'm like, oh man, I'm dreading reading that, just drop it. Just drop it. There's just not worth it unless you're like me and you're a completionist on certain titles like X-Men. But if there's other titles like Something's Killing the Children, I don't know where you'd be at, where your head needs to be examined or whatever if you haven't been loving the series. But if you don't, go ahead and drop it. It don't matter what everybody else says. And oh man, this is hot. This is going to be worth a lot of money. Who cares? Collect for you. All right. So I picked up a Rye 8. So you know how to have a little Valiant love in here. This particular cover is drawn by the legendary Walt Simonson. And so this is one of the other ones that I read while I was in the parking lot. So yeah, Rye is going pretty good right now. Hopefully, Dan Abbott's a good writer. Hopefully he, or Valiant in particular, won't mess it up and will leave well enough alone. Now this one was supposed to have come out last week. I've heard mixed reviews on this book, Tom King in particular. As a side note, the other thing that aggravates the snot out of me is I'm paying $4 for a book. At least I want to get a shot at a 9.8. But with these ends dulled the way they are, that ain't going to happen unless CGC gets drunk with whatever. But anyway, I'm a fan of Rorschach. I like this cover. I'm going to give it a shot. I'll tell you what I think of. Yeah, still waiting on the EXO, man. What's going on, sis? Lord Lee, man, I jumped on I saw the stream going live on YouTube last night. I jumped in. I said, man, what's going on with these folks? It was like just playing through a photo roll. And I'm like, Oh man, I just missed it. Of course, I had to catch it on the rewind. Yeah, EXO's a good series too. Dennis Hopeless Haslam is supposed to be a good writer. We shall see on that one. Yeah, see, that is how dedicated I am, or really how little I have to do while I'm sitting in a hotel room by myself. And that is, I'm getting on here, going live to show you what I picked up today, as opposed to waiting till later. Yeah, it's the thought that counts. I tried that with my wife one time. Hey, I thought about buying you roses. It's a thought that counts, right? It didn't quite work with her. Hopefully, it did with you. Good. All right. So the another one I've been picking up is Batman 101. Now, I don't know if the owner of the comic shop caught wind of what the worker was doing on this particular book or these books, because he's been giving these to me for cover price. And I told him I want all copies, hint, hint, wink, wink, so that you would put it in my pool on my box. And so it's ready for me. So I come up there and he throws it out there, and me and like 5 other guys show up at opening time at 11 o'clock. And so luckily I was able to do it. Normally it would be a little bit later in the day before I've gotten there. He puts these out, put this and several other variants out. And he said, hey, these are going to be $20. It's cheaper than what you'll find on eBay. Here, anybody wants them? I said, anybody? Okay, grab that one right there. It's mine. And all the other people come over and they're like, I should have said, look, hey, for 30, I'll give it to you right here, right now. Oh man, yes, the Grifter. Batman had some awesome covers, and 15 a piece. Look, man, if you've been paying 15 a piece, you're still on the low side comparatively to what a lot of people are spending on these things. Because I've seen people spend, depending on the spending anywhere over 25 to 50 bucks, especially like the Punchline one, the Joker one. I splurged a little bit on the Joker one. I spent 30, but I don't like to spend no more than the ratio calls for. So if it's a 1 in 25, I'll spend 25 bucks. But it's got to be definitely a hot cover, and that Grifter qualified to me for a hot cover. Being a child of the 90s, well, I was more of a teenager by the 90s, but being a child of that era and remembering Wildcats #1 coming out and the like, then, it's certainly pretty cool. The only one I'm missing is the designer. Yeah, that's actually one of the ones I've got. No, is it the design? No, what's the other guy's name? Not the designer, but he's got a mask over his face. I got him. I don't have the designer one. I did pick up the Harley one finally. Juggernaut #2. So pretty interesting on the Juggernaut #1. Fabian Nicieza is known for writing a lot of X-Men books back in the day, including but not limited to Mr. Deadpool himself. So he knows his X stuff. Comes and writes his Juggernaut. I was really well pleased with the first Juggernaut. Uncharacteristically, Juggernaut appeared to be somebody that you can actually, go hang out with. He wasn't like this dumb box of rocks. You can tell he went through some stuff when the gem was ripped out of him. You can tell that he had to go through some stuff. They kind of hinted at it. But here he is fighting the Hulk. If you recall back when World War Hulk came to town, Juggernaut didn't stand a chance, so we'll see how he stands on that one. What's going on, David Ewan? No, not Black Mask. It's another guy. It's the guy that double-crossed Black Cat, and she was trying to get all the money moved around. But yeah, what's going on, Kenneth Bird? How are you? Another series I'm picking up is the Star Wars Bounty Hunters. This Lee, I'm going to butcher his last name, Bergiorno. I think about Buongiorno, like a pizza, but it's not that. But yeah, his covers have been straight out fire. Boba Fett's involved. Boba Fett has got to have the award for the most underused character, but most loved character. Here's a guy that's only in a few scenes until more recently, or if you read the books like I did, which are now deemed legends by Disney, those books, he has a whole backstory, and he comes back out of the Sarlacc pit, and he has a granddaughter even. And anyhow, but as far as movies go, this guy's not having much screen time. He's going into what the Mandalorian doesn't understand, but people still love him. Still, maybe it's the mysterious factor of it. Underbroker, thank you, Samuel David. Underbroker. Hoping everybody's having a good night. Take it easy and have a good show. Thank you, Marshall Lewis, for popping in here. Another one that I was glad that I was able to get to because he didn't put it in my box like he was supposed to, and that's these timeless variants. Let me tell you something, folks. If you had been collecting timeless variants, which I was trying not to, I failed this week. I really failed because these timeless variants are such fire, man. They're such fire. And this Nightcrawler is certainly one of my favorites. But yeah, he, for whatever reason, didn't even put an Excalibur. It's not just that he didn't put the timeless variant to it. He didn't put the Excalibur in my box. I haven't been collecting Excalibur. It's one of the exceptions to the X titles. Just really don't like what Tini Howard's been trying to do there. But because it ties into the X of Sword or Ten of Swords event, was going to pick it up. So we got the Cyclops version of the timeless variant. This is X of Swords Part 10 of 22. Yeah. Well, it's funny you should mention that, Samuel David. You mean this one right here? Yes, yes, yes. And so Spider-Woman was a surprising read for me. When I got #1 from the Comic Time 101 mystery box, not that I'm getting anything for promoting his mystery box. As you know, if you watch my other videos, that I've gone back and forth as to whether or not to continue to subscribe to him. But that's where I got the #1, and that's where I started reading. I said, no, this is interesting enough. I'll pick up #2. Well, the In-Hug League covers have been great. The story's been pretty good. And so had to pick this up. Great version of the timeless variant there. Also, we've got Harley Quinn from the Batman White Knight. So the kids are starting to grow up, her and Joker's kids, and so he's dead in this universe. And there you go. So it's talking about that. This should be interesting. I've enjoyed the Curse of the White Knight and the other Batman series. This is Black Label, so they have a little more creative liberties when it comes to that kind of stuff. Just kind of thumbing through it. It seems to still be holding true to all that. Again, the only thing I hate is that these things have been damaged up to that point. A question for the giveaway. Do you have to have a hashtag on one of your channels for the giveaway? If you're talking about the Uncanny X-Men 11 giveaway that I'm going to be doing Saturday, the answer is no. Show up. Everybody that's in the chat, when I spin the wheel, if you're in the chat, you have to stay there until I get through or get ready to spin the wheel or done spinning the wheel. But if you're there, I'm going to give you time to claim it, and then you can claim it, and that's how we'll do the one Saturday. Now, the 600 subscriber thing, which is the New Mutants 98, first appearance of Deadpool 9.4 CGC slab, and the Deadpool pop that go together, that's going to be different, but I'll release those details there. Yes, it is the designer. Oh, okay, designer. All right. Come with bells and whistles on, man. Look, I need. Probably just send you an invite. How about that? What time on Saturday? Check my channel. That's bad. I don't even remember right. But I think I set it for 11 o'clock Central Time, if I'm not mistaken. Picked up Robin King. I was kind of iffy on this character, but it was in my pool box. So I'm gonna check her out. But I'm kind of iffy on the character. The art's kind of meh, but. What can I say? Batman 101 with the Del Auto covers just been straight up fire and got Grifter on there. So man, can't beat it. I'm interested to see how Grifter is going to be playing into the Batman family. Looks like there's this cool action scene. Grifter, oh yeah, Grifter getting one over on the Batman. Man, I'm gonna start reading this right now. But pretty cool. And look forward to reading that one. And then I got the A cover because I've been getting the A, B, and if I can pick them up, the C covers, which is the 1 in 25. Then I got Nightwing 75. Now, I had thought to get the B cover on this, but then I kind of backed out because I'm like, I wanted to see kind of how things wrap up. It's a kind of anniversary type issue. See how things wrap up. I don't plan on getting on the Nightwing bandwagon going forward, but I decided to stick with the A cover on this one. And then also Catwoman 26. And so this was in my pull box, and I said, man, that's because we have good taste, Batman Poster. Good taste. Who dat? What's going on, man? How are you doing, sir? Man, I've got some turtle books, man, I looked up on today. Nothing serious as a Turtles #1 first print, mind you, but it's good when you're trying to complete the set like me. This was in there, and I said, look, I didn't want no Catwoman. And he said, oh, it's Joker War. It's Joker War. I'm like, okay. At least one more time. And so we're going to leave this alone for now. Now, I was able to go to another shop that was there in Oxford, Mississippi. So if you're in North Mississippi, Oxford, Mississippi is the home of Ole Miss, or University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. If you follow football, you know, Ole Miss Rebels or Black Bears or whatever they call themselves. I'm not an Ole Miss fan. I just happen to live here. Tell me you grabbed, no, I did not, because I have not been to a shop yet that it was available. Okay. Yeah, so the shops that I went to, while they were good and they certainly had their qualities, the Power Rangers last issue was not there, so I didn't pick it up yet. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna. I'll do that, Adrian. After the show, I'll put you a wrench, and so you can do that. You heard that, and I'm fixing to order that TMNT that you put out. That's the Marvel anniversary cover. I'm fixing after I get off this show right here. I'm going to go online to 616 Comics, and I'm going to go check that out. Man, they've been dropping commercials all night. I don't even get paid for sponsorships. What's the deal here? All right, so yeah, I was able to. What is the name of that comic store here? Bad Eddie's. So shout out to Bad Eddie's, who's having an anniversary sale, 20% off of all their comics. So they had a whole bunch of stuff, and I was kind of hesitant at first. It looked like one of those mostly magic shops, and those typically are overpriced, don't know what they're doing, type deal. But I was able to find some gems. So never judge a book by its cover. Sometimes the best thing is on the inside of those flaps, right? So that was the case with this particular comic shop. I was able to pick up a couple of new books that, for whatever reason, my shop had missed out on. But I was also able to clean up and finish up some runs that I've been working on. As you know, I'm a run collector. And tonight at 9 p.m., I think when it says, all right, will do. Good deal. Because I'm going to get that other one that's the homage to the Raphael #1. I'm going to get that one too. Yeah, all the people that are in this chat are generally in this chat and are good folks. So if you see them, sub them up. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't allow you to do the little one-click side thing like they used to do. But yeah, yep, gotta get it. So if I know what you're looking for, I try to keep an eye out for stuff. I know Mr. Comics 89, Matt over there on his channel, he's always looking up for some ASM. I've got his list, and I picked up one for him today, and check that out. Newsstand. That's right. And so that's a early 2000s newsstand. So they're definitely rare. And if you'll watch in these particular books that I picked up from the shop, they had a bunch of newsstands. It's not very typical. And if they are on those later newsstands, they're usually beat to what. These were in really good shape. So that was one of the benefits of the shop. Picked up Mega Man Fully Charged #2. I think #3 comes out this week or comes out next week. My shop hadn't had it. So I saw this on their deal, so I picked it up. So working on the run of Darkhawk. So if you grew up around the 90s, Darkhawk and Sleepwalker, they all came out at the same time. I'm not so much a Sleepwalker fan anymore, but Darkhawk, really cool character. They've since kind of retconned some of his origin and have used him in things like Reign of the Kings, and I think they're going to continue to use him as they go forward, even into the MCU. So I'm working on the first volume. Picked up several of them today. Darkhawk #10, check that out. Newsy. 13, Newsy. 14, Newsy. 19, Newsy. 18, Newsy. 17, you get the drift. Look at that. Look at that. 22. So this is a connecting cover, 3 or 4 of them that were in this row. But yeah, again, a newsstand and a newsstand. Check that out. So, and these are in really good shape to be. So there must, whoever they got these books from, must have took care of business back in the day to get those newsstands in such good shape. Then I got row number 4. This is from her first volume of her miniseries. Check that out. Newsstand. So yeah, another good pickup. You got one tick there, but other than that, looks pretty good. And then from the second row, we got number 1, another newsstand. This is number 4 right there. And this is from 2001. So, you know, by then newsstands were certainly getting more rare out there. So I was able to pick up of that same series, number 3, and then also number 1. Okay, so this is the second series. That first one I showed you is her third miniseries. So I now have all of the first miniseries and the second miniseries. So really cool there. And then this is X-Men Volume 3. So if you count X-Men Volume 1 as the Jim Lee era, and that's Volume 1, then this is Volume 3, which is how CLZ classifies it. I wouldn't classify it that way, but that's how they classify it, and that's what I used to keep up with all my comics, so hence I had to acquiesce. I was able to complete this run. So, yes, I only needed 4 or 5 of them, but nevertheless, you know, these are not stuff that you just come across every day. They're not big issue, not big keys, and so a lot of shops won't keep them because they can't command the big price for them. But, yes, I was able to check that out. So, issue number 12. I also picked up this. I already had a copy, but this one was a lot better shape. This is the first appearance of somebody. It's not Darth Revan. It's somebody in the Mandalorian mythos. But check that out. Newsstand. Booyah. And that's from like 06. Yeah. And still got a newsstand. Check this out right here. This was one of the things that said, hey, it was worth it. Now, let me tell you, trying to get into the shop. If you're ever in Oxford, Mississippi, North Mississippi, and you want to go to the shop, don't trust Google. It will send you to their old shop, which is located on the university campus, and that's kind of a hodgepodge and a wild mess. So I get on the phone with them and I say, hey, where's this at? You know, down here, is your Facebook address correct? I said, yes, it is. Great. So I put in the address from their Facebook page and I go and it takes me to nowhere. Nowhere. So I get on the phone with them. I said, hey, where's this at? And they're telling me all these places. I said, look, I'm not from here. I'm from Mississippi, but I'm not from here. I don't know where all these things are at. And so they tell me it's by the links. Okay, great. So I go to the links, right where Google says to go to. I go right there, and I said, look, I'm in front of the links. Where are you at? Well, we're not exactly in front of the links. The whole time I've been passing them up because I didn't know that they were right there beside the radio station. They could have at least just said that. But when I found these next 2 books, they made all those going back and forth, getting on the phone and everything worth it, especially when you consider that I paid 20% less because they were having a sale. And that is TMNT from the first run, issue 59. So this is one of the last issues. These are certainly ones that you don't just find out in the wild all the time. And I'm trying to organically collect all of these TMNT. In other words, when I say organically, leaving it to chance, whether that be in a comic shop, an eBay auction, happen to run across it on Instagram. That's leaving it to chance to me, my definition. So going to eBay is not organically because anybody can go type that in eBay and go wherever you deal. So yeah, this is one of the latter issues of that run. So I was happy to pick that up, and that's issue 59 and issue 58. Yes, yes, yes. And so 2 of the latter ones that I need in order to, you know, because you see number 1s that had, I'm not saying they're cheaper by any means, but you see number 1s and 3s and stuff like that. but you don't really see, or at least I haven't seen those later issues. And so I need 62, 46, 41, 39, 20, 2, and 3. So I'm 7 away, and that's just the issue. So 7 issues away. A few more than that because I want to try to get the various printings outside number 1, unless something miraculous happens outside of number 1. What's going on, John's Comics with Kids? How are you doing today, this evening, as it were? And I was able to pick up some more run fillers with Wolverine 65. This is from volume 3, as CLZ puts it, since his miniseries is listed as volume 1. And check that out. Newsstand. 63, another newsstand. And 62, another newsstand. So, this is from the Jason Aaron run on that Wolverine. And then of course it goes into 66, the Old Man Logan, and then that storyline. So I was missing those issues right there. Also picked up Wildcats number 25, and check that out, another newsie. That's right. Now, I think there is a foil cover to this, and that would probably be the direct version, but I picked up this one, so now I have Wildcats 1 through 25. I have a couple other ones in the 30s, but 1 through 25. So I'm going to read back up and read those, and then try to get the other ones, which I think it goes up to 50, 53, somewhere around there. Certainly going back into the 90s, a little retro. We were talking about Grifter a while ago. I was able to pick that up. Also picked this one up. I plan on probably just selling this, so I don't really have any kind of attachment to it or anything like that. But this is Black Widow, number 1. This is from the Greg Rucka. If I'm not mistaken, is this like the first appearance of her sister? Or is that her? And then check that out, another newsie. So yeah, I'm just planning on selling that one. All right, so then we got, going back to the X-Men volume 3, we have X-Men number 2. This is what I refer to as the women of power X-Men, so to speak. There were no guys on this team. It's all ladies. A large part of it revolved around Jubilee finding this little boy and adopting him. Then we got issue 24. Cool Storm cover. As you know, Storm is claustrophobic, so imagine that storyline is going to go around there. And then we have number 25. So now have all of these issues. Then we've got X-Men 96. So this is the annual for that year. This too is a newsstand, and was able to pick that up. Although I already have the X-Men Volume 1, the Jim Lee run of it, and then also X-Men Legacy, where it picks up with that numbering. I also am looking for the annuals. So now I lack one of the annuals because I got this one, and then I also got this one from 2000, another newsie. They should have called this the newsstand store because they had so many good newsstands. And like I said, 20% off, good shape books, can't beat it. And I really was fearful because a lot of these didn't have price tags on them. And so I said, well, what if they're not price tag? I know they're not free. What's going on? They said, well, hey, I'll look them up. I'm like, oh, Lord. They're going to look them up. They're going to look on eBay. And they're not going to look at sold listings. They're going to look at CGC 9.8, you know. But as luck would have it, he pulled out the trusty old Overstreet price guide. Can you believe it? He pulled out the Overstreet price guide and began to look them up. And he said, hey, these right here are all $3 each. And then, of course, minus your 20%. And this one is $4 and this one's $5. I was like, hey, fair enough. Let's go with it. So it worked out pretty good. I've got several copies, including a 9.4 CGC slab of that I got from Uncle Roman on an auction one night, but I couldn't pass it up. As you can see, it was $5 minus 20%, so it was $4. But check that out, another newsstand. So there was a bazillion of these things out there, but I bet you not all of them are in such great shape. Even though they were supposed to help send kids to college, they didn't, and they probably got thrown in a wastebasket, a lot of them after that. And this is one of those ones, X-Men 5. This is a tie-in to the Battle of the Atom. But yeah, this is from that volume 3 run. I picked up Star Wars Tales number 21. This is a pretty expensive book, and I can't remember why it is. It says Lone Jedi, what's the deadly secret? So it's a first appearance of a Jedi or a Sith or something to that nature. If anybody in the chat is more familiar with it, certainly let me know. What's going on, David Ewing? How are you? What's going on, William Smallwood? Thanks everybody for showing up. Joey Bag of Sevens, what's going on with you? But yeah, this is, and I was like, I don't know what it is. It's only $6 minus 20%. I'm going to pick it up. Plus another newsstand. You guessed it, folks. And so a lot of these were sold into like Books A Million or Barnes and Noble and still listed as newsstands. But yeah, there we go. Then I was able to pick up Hellions that came out last week. I was supposed to have gotten this timeless variant last week. However, my LCS let me down. Diamond let them down. I don't know. I don't care. I didn't get it. So anyhow, I was able to pick this up. So glad about that. I was also able to pick up Firepower number 3 because, again, my LCS didn't have it. This is the second print. I didn't realize that wasn't looking. I was like, oh, Firepower 3, let me pick it up. Been enjoying the series. Kind of reminds me of some Iron Fist vibes. But somebody was telling me that issue 3 kind of picked it up a little bit. So, and the issue 4 just came out, and I'm like, LCS, you let me down. So the guy that works at the LCS, I said, I guess they just don't want you to me to spend any money with you. Yeah. So we got Powers of X number 4. This is the Rogue variation. As you can see, this is the various costumes of Rogue over the years. There's a Gambit one. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it. I thought it would go well with my Rogue and Gambit collection there. But glad to get this. I'm not a real big Greg Land fan. I'm kind of wondering what porn magazine he stole that one out of. But yeah, it is Rogue, and then has all her different variations over the years. So couldn't pass it up. Got it for cover price, minus 20%. So then I found this one. Avengers 35. This is a more recent one, but this is the Age of Khonshu Part 3. So I was able to pick up number 1 on an auction from Creamer Cash Comics, which I'm going to be seeing Friday, and the issue 1, which is kind of the hotter, more expensive of the books now. I got the last issue, I guess last week before last. So I said, well, I'm going to get the few that are in between. And so I picked that one up at cover price. And so that is good. I was also able to check out an Ollie's. Several people have been going to Ollie's and finding big books. There was one guy that posted on Instagram, Kanan number 6, which is the first full appearance of a whole bunch of people. And unfortunately, I've not been able to find that one. And then another guy, Flash by Night, posted on Instagram that he found the picture of him finding in one of these little variety packs at Ollie's the Kanan number 1, which is a pretty good book as well. Certainly worth the price of admission. What's going on, Ruben Guzman? How are you doing tonight? So posted all this, and I've found some books at Ollie's, don't get me wrong, but I've never found those real big books like what those guys have posted. And then I seen somewhere else that somebody was looking at the toys. Two Brothers had this real nice with the giant size X-Men number 1 book that had Alex Ross cover on it as well. And I was like, man, I want to get that. So I went to Ollie's, only found one that I went to, Comics for Thomas. What's going on? I believe you're in Canada, aren't you? How are things up north, if you are indeed from the north of us? So I went to this one. Unfortunately, they didn't have they have the graphic novels. They had a few books, but they didn't have any of the packs multi-packs that I'm used to picking up. However, I did find this, and I have been wanting to pick this up. Heard a lot of good stuff about it, and with Halloween coming up, I thought it was an opportune time to pick up this bad boy, and that is Batman Noir: The Long Halloween. As you can see, I paid $8.99 plus tax. This is an awful thick book for $8.99. Looking on the back, this was originally a $50 book in the United States. And so pretty excited to have at least got this one. Would have liked to got some of the other ones that I just mentioned. Good deal, good deal. Would have liked to have gotten some of the other ones, but hey, can't complain. Been wanting to pick it up. It's Halloween. We'll have to pick it up and read it before we get there, which is next week, by the way. So those are my first day pickups. So what do you think? In the chat or in the comments down below after this video is done. I do appreciate everybody for taking this time. If you've been in and out, we've been going for about 40 minutes of me rambling about various things, talking about some good books, hanging out with some cool peeps from the comic book community. In either case, hopefully we had a good time, to steal a phrase from JB. But as I said earlier, if you were not here, if you were, just pretend that you didn't hear me, and I'll say it again. But tomorrow I will be doing another live video talking about the other books. And knowing this shop and knowing this other shop that I plan on going to, probably going to be a bigger haul than what we had today as far as bigger books. This shop has bigger books and has a bigger selection. So plan on having a bigger haul, and then we'll have another one at some point, because Friday night I've got to get back home. And so I won't be able to do one Friday night. Saturday, might just do it during the 500 subscriber live stream, or I might do it later in the day, because I've got the 500 subscriber live stream, which you'll have to be present to win, 11 o'clock Central. I believe where I'll be giving away an Uncanny X-Men number 11, first appearance of the Stranger. And you have to be present to win. And I will be also releasing the details for winning that New Mutants 98 and how you can do that. So I do appreciate, again, everyone that has subscribed to me. All 501 of you that have subscribed to the channel. Yeah, we're fixing to give away something for the 500 subscriber. We're already talking about 600. So I do appreciate that. Who knew a year ago when I started filming videos like this, just cathartically talking about this crazy thing called comics that a 42-year-old bald can get into and just find some pleasure in, that there would be so many people out there in the YouTube world that they just say, hey man, I'm doing the same thing, man. Let's hang out, let's talk comics. And none of this political jargon and all this other kind of stuff that this world's crazed around these days. We don't have to talk about all that. We could talk about stuff that we agree with. And as I've said plenty of times before, we agree on more than we disagree, but people in this world can't see that today. But yes, who would have thought that a year ago? Because it's been roughly a year since my first video for my first comic pull was released, which was a No Faces chat. And as time went on, I got to rambling around myself on video camera and doing some other stuff. But since that, who would have thought it? But here we are, 501 subscribers later, and I do appreciate it. I'm going to show my appreciation by giving away the Uncanny X-Men number 11. And don't worry, if the rig wheel doesn't go your way, there will be other giveaways Saturday as well. So be sure to be there, because you must be present to win, at least on that particular giveaway. So be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss videos like this or others in the future. And share the channel out so we can get to 600 subscribers and give away that New Mutants 98 slab sooner rather than later. And hopefully you got to the comic book shop today and you were able to pick up some great books, and you'll get a chance to read them, and you'll get a chance to maybe catch up on the reading sitting at home. But until then, hopefully everybody in your family stays safe. And until next time, keep reading and keep collecting.